Hi everybody! This week we're sending home lots of really creative activities to do. Some of them you don't need much at all. You might have some recyclable rubbish which you can reuse to make something creative. You might just join in with a drawing activity, so a pencil, a chalk, a crayon, or anything that will make a mark will do. But for some of them you might like to use some paint, and you might be thinking, I don't have any paint at home, so I've got some ideas how you can make your own paint. All you need are some things which are simple to find. Some of them you might have in your cupboards at home. You need to check with your grown-up first, but even if you don't have those things spare at home, there are different ideas throughout this video. To make your paint, first I've mixed some flour and some salt and some water, and I've used the same scoop for each one, so they're equal amounts, and then you mix it together and you can see it's formed a kind of paste. Now this is my base, and from this I can make lots of different colours. So I've got lots of different ideas for different things that you can do to colour your paint. You might have at home some food colouring. This will be a really simple way to colour your paint. So I've got, if I just scoop some in here, I've got some yellow food colouring, and I'll just pop that in. If I mix that around, you can see straight away it's created a really vibrant yellow colour, so I can use that as a yellow paint. Okay, you can see. If you haven't got food colouring, don't worry. So food colouring is just one way that you can colour your paint. Another way is by mixing something which you might be able to find out and about. It's just some mud, so I'm going to sprinkle some of my mud into my paint. I'll just mix that around. You might also create a nature paintbrush, so you might gather some sticks or twigs and then attach on it some different things, so it could be petals or leaves, and see the different things that make marks. So you can see here, this is my mud paint. Which is made of brown. You can see that they create different textures as well, so that might be something quite nice to explore. So I've got even more ideas, so even if you can't come up with some mud, maybe you don't have a garden and you're not able to get out at the moment, we could use this. Okay, this is a tea bag which has been used. I've obviously left it to cool down because we mustn't touch them when they're hot, but you can see when I squeeze it that the colour of the water changes, the tea is dyeing it. So I'm going to squeeze some of that into my next bit of paint, mix that together. It's created a really pale colour, and I can use that as well. Okay, let's see if I can show you. It was a bit runnier this time, but you can see that's created a different colour. Something else you might have at home, something which I found in the back of a cupboard, was some spices. So these might be really nice. Not only will they change the colour of your paint which you're making, but they'll also smell really great too. So I've just found some cinnamon in the back of my cupboard. So I'm going to mix that all in. But you might have lots of different spices at home. You don't need to put much in, but again, just check with your grown-ups if you're going through the cupboards to make your own paint. So here, need to add a little bit of extra water to this one, it's gone quite dry. So I can change it just by adding a little bit of extra water in and mixing it around. Oh, it smells lovely. So this is my cinnamon paint. And then something else which you might have happen to you. Today I brought my fruit into school, but it got really smushed in the bottom of my bag. So I've actually got the juice here from my squashed raspberries. So what I can do is I can just tip in the juice from my raspberries. Whoops. and then I can mix that around. And you can see, you can see in there that it's already dyeing the paint, so then I can use that as well to create my coloured paint. There it is. So loads of different ways. If you don't have normal paint at home, it doesn't matter at all. There are lots of different things you can use, okay? Even if you don't have flour and salt to mix together to create the base for your paint, you can get outside, use mud, create yourself a nature paintbrush. But if you're making some paint from equal parts of flour, so maybe 1 scoop of flour, 1 scoop of salt and 1 scoop of water, mix it all together, and then you can have a go. You can add food colouring in, the juice from berries or fruit which maybe have gone a little bit rotten or nasty, some cinnamon or spices or herbs which you might have in your house. Obviously we've talked about mud and just the empty juice coming out from a tea bag. Loads of different ways. So if you don't have paint at home, it's a really nice way to explore the different textures that all of these materials combine to make. And I'd love to see some of the artwork which you create with your homemade paint or whether the paint you've already got.